Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Fans, like we said earlier, Working Fans Comedycast episode 44, and we are trying something new. When we tape our 531s, we are going to do a live stream video while we record it, at least for the comedy right now. This might branch out into other forms of the podcast, but then this same audio will still be in the Comedycast episode for the week, just giving us a little more live content out there. And next week, we are going to be doing a 531 on sketch comedy shows that'll release on December 21st. And then on December 28th, we will be doing our year-end special, talking about the Comedy Cast over the year, because 2021 has kind of been the year of the Comedy Cast. We started out with our second episode where we interviewed comedian Nathan Wallace.
Yeah, good old Nathan Wallace, man. Where's the time gone? We missed you, Nathan.
We almost gave up on the Comedy Cast for a little bit, and then we came back stronger, hit a roadblock, and we'll talk about that in the year-end episode.
Now I'm stronger. Yes.
You will probably see it a little bit in this episode on top romantic comedies, but surprised us a little bit. We had some fans that are big fans of romantic comedies, and they came out with the lists.
They showed up, as they said, and showed out. You ready?
100%. Now, the first list I got is from Kevin Irvine, and he's got Never Been Kissed, She's All That, The Girl Next Door, The Breakup, and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay, The Breakup. Is that a what's his name? Seth Rogen film?
That was a newer one. I believe maybe Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston. No, you're right. Yep. I just remember I only saw part of that, and there's a line in there where he's calling like her sister a slut or something, and Aniston's like, she's been through a lot, and he's like, of dicks, and I just okay. I always remembered that.
Dave used that same line during his divorce. That's things like
I don't know. She needs to know.
Now, one of the movies that stood out for me from this list was 10 Things I Hate About You. 1999 movie with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was about, so I looked up a couple of these movies. This was one, and Kat Stratford, Julia Stiles, is a beautiful, smart, and quite abrasive to most of her fellow teens, meaning that she doesn't attract many boys. Unfortunately for her younger sister Bianca, played by Larissa Olenek, house rules say that she can't date until Kat has a boyfriend. So strings are pulled to set the dour damsel up for a romance. Soon, Kat crosses paths with handsome new arrival Patrick Verona, a.k.a. Heath Ledger, a.k.a. the Joker. And the final thing is, will Kat let her guard down enough to fall for the effortlessly charming Patrick? That got a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 69% audience score.
Got an 80% of my heart. Woo!
Dave's going to go back to that for all the late 90s nostalgia.
Saucy. All right. I got Aaron Patrick, who messaged us and told us that rom-coms are his personal favorite type of movie. And if you needed a guest, I'm 100% in. However, I messaged him at the very last minute, and I wasn't able to get him. That's on me. But thank you, Aaron. We got 27 Dresses, She's All That, Tin Cup, 10 Things I Hate About You, and Always Be My Baby. Heath Ledger, we talked about him already. He's in 10 Things I Hate About You. That was actually kind of a good movie. I always remember there's like a part where he serenades her or something. And it's like, you're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. That's how I got all the ladies, Joe, back in the day.
Singing those jams. And if you listen to the podcast, you know Dave likes to sing.
I love the song. I love the ladies. Tin Cup. I remember that was Kevin Costner. I didn't see it, but it's about golf, basically.
Yeah, it was a golf movie. Now, it's funny you brought up 27 Dresses because that was one I wasn't familiar with. And it stars Katherine Heigl from Knocked Up, and perennial bridesmaid Jane, Katherine Heigl, always puts the needs of others before her own, making her the go-to girl whenever someone needs help with their wedding plans. So when Jane's younger sister Tess, played by Malin Ackerman, snags the man, Edward Burns, that Jane secretly loves, Jane finds herself questioning her role as a wedding junkie for the first time in her life. Meanwhile, a handsome reporter, played by James Marsden, sees Jane's unusual story as his ticket off the bridal beat. Now, that got a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 57% audience score.
That is good. Well, fuck them.
Next list I got is from Dame Ladford. He's got Bewitched, Crazy Stupid Love, Date Movie, Love and Other Drugs, and a classic, Sleepless in Seattle.
Bewitched. That would have been the one with Will
That
Ferrell.
is the modern remake with Will Ferrell, and I believe Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. I saw that with a girl named Mary. Mary was one of the girls who got away from me early on. I mean, she was quick. I tried to get her, and I was like, "Hey, Mary, come here!" And she's like, "You're kidding me!" Never again. But nonetheless,
She couldn't run fast because she wears sandals.
quick. No, she was still quick. Jim Moore got us a list, and he just said, "I'm not a fan, so fuck him." He also said, though, "But I love All of Me" with Steve Martin and Lily Tomlin. Know anything about that movie?
I did not look that up. I did look up a different Steve Martin movie, and we will get to that later.
All right. Why don't you go another list then? That's all for me. Jim Moore.
Now, the next list I got is from Michael Lindstrom, and he's got Annie Hall, The Artist, The Princess Bride, Say Anything, and Juno.
The Artist? I don't know that one.
The Artist, that came out within the last 10 years, I'd say. And that was the modern remake of a silent movie. If you haven't watched it, it is amazing. I own it. Got it on Blu-ray. Love it.
Interesting. Juno, I remember. That's where the little girl got pregnant there. Got all knocked up and shit, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Michael Sarah?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Asshole. Anyway. He's actually pretty funny. I like him.
He knows what he did.
He knows what he did. I got a list here from Raul Perez, Boomer Humor. I like that. He's got Something About Mary, Princess Bride, another classic, When Harry Met Sally, Bedazzled, Love Actually. Okay. Something About Mary, incredibly funny. Love the whole stuff with Ben Stiller. And
we went over that in the Ben Stiller episode. We loved it.
Yep. Princess Bride's a classic. When Harry Met Sally is another classic, especially for romantic comedies. Love Actually. I feel that's a Hugh Grant film.
I did not look that one up, of course.
It is. I don't know Bedazzled, though. That one definitely got me, too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, did he just misspell Bewitched? But I'm sure Bedazzled is actually a movie.
Oh, it is? Yeah, I didn't misspell Bewitched. He didn't either.
Let's see. Love Actually, 9 intertwined stories. Hugh Grant is in it. Examine the complexities that one emotion that connects us all love.
Come on, 03? 04?
Yeah, that was an 03 movie.
Yeah, I was...
Got in 246.8 million at the box office.
I was chasing a little girl named Stephanie at that time. I caught her for a little while, but then eventually, just like all of them, she escaped. She was
eventually, she got into AJ's.
I don't know what she's doing now. Anyway, is it? That's all right. I had Boomer Humor. Yeah, okay. So we already stuff. Love Actually. What else you got, brother?
Oh, next up, I got Al Shafir, who's got Knocked Up, When
Mm.
Harry Met Sally, Trainwreck, Splash, and Chasing Amy.
Okay, so Knocked Up. I dated this girl for about 6 years. We even owned the house together for a little bit, and the first movie we ever went out to saw together was Knocked Up. Now that didn't work out well. She ended up being really crazy and a bitch, and I had to call the cops on her. And she broke all my wrestling DVDs. And
And Dave's never bounced back since.
she did say something to me. I remember one time she said to me, "You'll appreciate this." I don't know how I want to word this, but basically, I said something about why you upset that I didn't sow my wild oats because I hadn't really been with a lot of people at that time. And she's like, "Nah, I'm not upset." She says, "Actually, you know what? I am upset. I wish you did sow your oats. Then maybe you know how to fuck." And I was like, "Okay." That's what I was living with. That was the woman. She had my heart, Joe.
Well, thank God the new lady doesn't talk to you that way.
She does
And
not. Even the one after that didn't talk to me that way. That was the one and only.
you know the next person who doesn't talk to us that way is Rick Page, who's got Roxanne,
Roxanne. Sorry.
Knocked Up, Sleepless in Seattle, She's All That, and The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. Making a few lists.
Yeah.
Like that. Could end up being the one in the end here.
And I actually did look up Roxanne because I remember this as the movie with
Steve Martin, right?
Steve Martin with the big ass nose.
Mm.
Oh shit, we got a viewer. How you doing, Kathleen?
VOA FYI.
She loved Dave's last story. She's like, I got to comment after that. 5 stars.
This asshole's talking shit.
Now, Roxanne came out in 1987. It's the modern take on Edmund Rostrand's classic play, Cyrano de Bergerac. And in the movie, C.D. Bales, played by Steve Martin, is the witty, intelligent, and brave fire chief of a small Pacific Northwest town who, due to the size of his enormous nose, declines to pursue the girl of his dreams, lovely Roxanne Kowalski, Daryl Hannah.
Mm.
Instead, when his shy underling, Chris McConnell, played by Rick Rossovich, likely story, becomes smitten with Roxanne, Bales feeds him the words of love to win her heart. This got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, 63% audience score. And we've seen the Cyrano de Bergerac tale done in countless cartoons and other shows where somebody doesn't know how to talk to the girl. There's a guy hiding that feeds him the lines. Classic story, stands out as one of those Steve Martin movies.
One of the all-time greats. Steve Martin. Big ass nose. That's what I heard. Check that out.
100%.
I was looking at his VOA abbreviation. I was trying to figure out.
What'd you find out?
I don't know. I saw like Voice of America, and I didn't. Maybe
Hey, you are the voice of America.
Thank you.
Telling girls to get the fuck out when they talk bad.
Let them know. There was this accountant I had. Oh God, I won't
And
give
Walsh?
No, not him. But I remember I was talking to Andy about him one time, and I was like, "What happened to that guy? He was kind of a loose cannon." And he goes, "Well, apparently he yelled at his girlfriend at a Christmas party, and they fired him." And I was like, "Oh, I was wondering if we could hire him for something." And he goes, "Well, he yelled at his girlfriend, so we know he doesn't take any shit." I was like, "All right, Andy."
Andy doesn't take any shit either.
Romantic comedies. All right, Randy.
No, if you came here thinking this was going to be a feel-good show about romantic comedies, nah.
Got fucked. So
Dave can fuck your Saturday up.
Randy Osgood chiming in. He's got a list here. Chasing Amy. Okay, that's been on a few lists now. And Harry Met Sally, also on a list. I don't know if you're keeping tally this week, but Groundhog
I am
Day.
not, but I've got a pretty good idea what's leading the pack.
Yeah, 50 First Dates, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and as a bonus, oh, Randy, Coming to America. My man, I didn't even think to put that down there, but that's right.
I saw it on a list of top romantic comedies, and since we're not like AJ Strange Brew, we'll allow the extra pick.
We will. Fuck AJ. You hear that, AJ? If you're watching, fuck you.
No, Kelly, he's not watching.
Adam would knew. That's
Oh.
right. You're live.
I was gonna say you put his shoot name out live.
Look him up. I don't know. He made my friend upset.
Now Kelly Kaufman, she put Never Been Kissed, The Princess Bride, Sleepless in Seattle, Say Anything, and Knocked Up.
Adam Joseph knew. Anyway.
Oh jeez. We'll give you 5 of the numbers of his social security number. You figure the rest out.
June 4th, 1976. He's a good man. I'm sorry. Anyway. All right, we're getting off the rails here. I got Randy Miller. Actually, hold on a second. I have his list, but I'm going to go a little more in detail with my boy Randy Miller. Randy was not a fan of this genre, and this is what he had to say about it before we went into it. Dave, I hate you right now for 2 reasons. 1, I despise this film genre. I would rather watch Human Centipede for 100 hours straight than watch a rom-com. And 2, I actually had to watch some of these movies in order to make a list. You really have to search hard to find diamonds in these crap piles. May God have mercy on your soul. And then Randy told me when I said, well, you don't have to do this. He said, I'm too deep now. All right. So, and that point, Randy Miller provided me a list. So all the people who love this was Randy Miller. I won't be giving out his actual birth date or his address. I'm a fan of him and I like him. I went broad in my definition of rom-com. Number 5, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. 4, When Harry Met Sally. 3, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. 2, Pretty Woman. And number 1, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think we all like to remember Forgetting Sarah Marshall, especially in that beginning scene where you can see his little penis. They ain't very erect, and he's like trying to show off everybody. That's the important thing. Let's remember that.
Dave loves that scene.
Jason Segel, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it'd be Siegel. I was gonna say Seagal, but I guess at that point,
Not Seagal. I know it isn't. I actually know them. I heard the man's name enough times. I was a fan of How I Met Your Mother. It's not a movie, but it was a romantic comedy.
No, that was a good show. That would be like a romantic comedy sitcom if we ever had
Right.
one.
Ooh, I feel a list.
Now, I looked up How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I looked up How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's a 2003 movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in that movie, an advice columnist, Andy Anderson, played by Kate Hudson, tries pushing the boundaries of what she can write about in her new piece about how to get a man to leave you in 10 days. Take note, Tyler Peters. Always looking to push those boundaries. Now, her editor, Lana B.B. Neuwirth, loves it, and Andy goes off to find a man she can use for the experiment.
Yeah, the man is the guy from Dazed and Confused, isn't it?
Enter executive Ben Barry, played by Matthew McConaughey, who is so confident in his romantic prowess that he thinks he can make any woman fall in love with him in 10 days. When Andy and Ben meet, their plans backfire. That got a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 77% audience score.
My God.
Yeah, I got to give you those deep cuts.
Deep cuts, baby. I got Jesse from New Hampshire coming up here.
Jesse is gonna pop for this episode. I hear him now. He's there. He's got his popcorn. He got us multiple lists this week.
He did.
Tell us what Jesse delivered.
First list he got to me, the very first. We're gonna count all of Jesse's though. Was 50 First Dates, Wedding Crashers, Knocked Up, Can't Hardly Wait, Girl Next Door. Girl Next Door, I believe, is about that porn star that lived next door.
I believe so. I did not look it up, but yeah, I think it was.
And then Jesse informed me he could give me another list. And I said, please do. And he gave me Bull Durham, American Wedding. That's part of that American Pie franchise. Along Came Polly, There's Something About Mary, and 16 Candles. And after Jesse was done, the man looked me in the eye and he says, you want another? This is my genre here. And I said, baby, keep them coming. And he said, Zach and Muriel Make a Porno, which is a Seth Rogen film.
Yeah.
Chase and Amy, she's been on quite a list now. Fever Pitch, This Is 40. That sounds familiar. And Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
This Is 40. That was the sequel to Knocked Up that had Paul Rudd and that other lady in that.
Yeah.
And that more spawned about that couple's life.
Okay. I still got 3 more lists plus my own. I'm not sure how you're doing here.
I got 4 lists, and I don't have it on any more lists, but I did look up Annie Hall, and I think it's important to mention because this is more of a classic romantic comedy, and between this and Roxanne, these have 2 of the better Rotten Tomato scores. Roxanne, if you remember, was an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, 63% with the audience. This one is 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, 92% audience score. And hopefully it doesn't have the Bill Cosby effect because Annie Hall is about comedian Alvy Singer, played by Woody Allen, who examines the rise and fall of his relationship with struggling nightclub singer Annie Hall, played by Diane Keaton. Speaking directly to the audience in front of a bare background, Woody Allen's character, Alvy Singer, reflects briefly on his childhood and early adult years before settling in to tell the story of how he and Annie met, fell in love, and struggled with the obstacles of a modern relationship,
Hmm.
mixing surreal fantasy sequences with small moments of emotional drama. And it's just wild how that is got like a 90% on both scores. And a lot of these other ones are classics, but they don't nearly hit that level. And when
Yeah.
I looked up a list of the top 200 romantic comedies, a lot of them were older. Almost like what you'd expect AJ to give us, like 50s, 60s, Singing in the Rain type shit.
Well, I'm glad you said AJ. He's coming up next here. I believe. Did you just read that list, though? I'm getting lost in this
I
moment.
just read you that description. I will
Right.
bring you Alice Davidson's list. She's got Roxanne,
Mm.
The Princess Bride, She's All That, Sleepless in Seattle, and Bewitched.
It's very good. And let's just get right to AJ, who's going to surprise you here a little bit. He's got Hitched, The Proposal, Employee of the Month. I don't remember that being that good. Whatever. When Harry Met Sally.
That
And
wasn't bad. It wasn't one of the better Dane Cook comedies, but it was good enough. I believe Jessica Simpson was in that.
oh, I thought it was Jessica Alba, or maybe it's Jessica Simpson. It's one of the Jessicas. Though. Yeah, you're like, hey,
Finish that list and maybe somebody will surreptitiously Google that.
yeah. Well, I guess I already said it. I finished it, but I'll repeat it again. The last couple, When Harry Met Sally and Notting Hill. I think when I look at this list, I think like Hitch. That was a Will Smith film with Kevin James, and I remember seeing that
Oh,
one.
yeah, it was Jessica Simpson.
Oh, snap, son.
Dane Cook, Jessica Simpson, Dax Shepard,
Mm.
Andy Dick, Harlan Williams, 38.4 million at the box office, 20% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Ooh, they got him. They suckered him in that first week.
Now you bring up Notting Hill. I had to look that up because I do remember that as a movie from the late 90s. And Hugh Grant plays William Thacker, a London bookstore owner whose humdrum existence is thrown into romantic turmoil when he meets famous American actress Anna Scott, played by Julia Roberts, in his shop. Chance encounter over spilled orange juice leads to a kiss that blossoms into a full-blown love affair as the average bloke and glamorous movie star draw closer and closer together. The struggle to reconcile their radically different lifestyles in the name of love. 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, 79% audience score. AJ doesn't fuck around when he brings us the movies here.
Hey, and before we get on to your next list here, somebody might have been a little petty and decided, you know what? I think Dane Cook and Jessica Alba did have a movie, and I think it was a romantic comedy, and I just want to be somewhat represented here. And it was Good Luck Chuck, Dane Cook and Jessica Alba. So they did have a movie together. It was
Wow.
but it wasn't the Employee of the Month. But that's where my head was at. So
Yeah, because Dane Cook was doing a lot of those type movies around that time. It was just before he started getting into the slightly serious ones, like the one he did with Steve Carell.
Hmm.
But that was like prime Dane Cook territory.
Yeah. Yeah, when I
And
went to that movie, I remember there was some girls that were just like, um, I don't know what you want to call it, but they were just heartthrob over Dane Cook. They were like screaming for him when he like came on.
hose.
Yeah. Rats, as the wrestling term, I believe is called.
Speaking of rats, next up we got Ann Johns, and she has Sex in the City,
Poor woman.
Sex in the City 2, The Princess Bride, Knocked Up, and Splash.
Sounds like somebody's mom. Good lady. And Jonathan, I'm sorry. Let's go to Chevy, who I literally hit up. Oh God, probably like
I hit him up today earlier when I was asking him what kind of pizzas he wants.
I think I hit him up an hour before we did this, and he came up with a list. This guy, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Just Friends. I know that, but I'm blanking out. Garden State. I know that has Zach Braff, and it was like an independent film too.
That was
And
a real good one, Garden State.
Wedding Crashers. Glad he put that in there too. What was that one I was just saying? We didn't know what it was.
Just Friends. That is.
Oh, that's Ryan Reynolds is in that.
Okay.
He's like wearing a fat suit at one point in that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we brought that up. High school student Chris Brander, played by Ryan Reynolds, loves his best friend, Jamie Palomino, played by Amy Smart.
Yes.
He finally confesses his feelings, but she tells him that she just wants to be friends, and he leaves town in shame. 10 years later, he's a successful record executive and involved with self-absorbed pop star Samantha James, played by Anna Faris. He still pines for Jamie, though, and when his plans to go to Paris for the holidays fall through, he returns to his hometown to try and win her heart. 50.9 million at the box office. 42% Rotten Tomatoes.
I think that's the thing, right? Like romantic comedies, look at how the older ones did well. It probably started off as like a good genre. It was something different, probably people put in there. And over time, people just saw, hey, there's a market for this. And they just fucking put out shit as fast as they could, like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's why probably like the 60s, it would be more a romantic movie with comedy elements in there. Now it's, God, it's almost like, I think of it like when I think of modern R&B, how it's almost just like a watered down rap, where back in the day, R&B really had a soul, and it was almost like that black rock and roll, if you think about it in a way, or like that black mix of soul and rock and roll.
That old time and rockin'.
And over time, things have really homogenized, but I'll tell you who has not homogenized.
Big
fan of the show,
me.
Dave Fabe. He brings us a list. He's got Sleepless in Seattle, Annie Hall, Never Been Kissed, Roxanne, and Say Anything.
Oh, Dave Fave. But he sold his wild oats.
This guy fucks.
Yeah, all the time. Fucks with us in the Working Fans podcast. I see you in the comments all the time, Dave Fave. What's up, baby? All right. Scott from Voluntown. Fucked up. I've been saying too many people's shit names on this show.
I know, especially on the live show. This is a live stream, and he's calling out all our haters. Got
you, AJ. Got your ass. Anyone watches this. That's right. Kathleen Wilson is like, voila. Adam Lanu, how are you? Sorry. I'm giving you a lot.
He's getting in his DMs.
All right. Scott from Voluntown. He's got The Princess Bride, Groundhog Day, Say Anything, Juno, When Harry Met Sally. And I had actually lost this list before this. And he told me if I lost this list, this throughout The Princess Bride 5 times. So, obviously my man loves The Princess Bride. I actually like all these. Groundhog Day is one of my favorite like holiday comedies, actually. And Juno is good. Yeah, I love all these. I'm trying to think. Say Anything is a good one too. That's from the 80s. I want to say that's all those John Cusack films.
Yep. The one with him
with the boombox.
Boombox over his head. Now I'm gonna bring you the last list I got. It's from Jeff Lee. He's got Sleepless in Seattle, Roxanne, Trainwreck, When Harry Met Sally, and Splash.
Sounds good. Let me just get right to my list then. I got When Harry Met Sally, which I believe I saw this when I was a kid, actually. I think I went with my sister and my brother-in-law at the time. This is one of the first movies I saw. How sad is that? Sleepless in Seattle.
Hey, this is Clockwork Orange, two true love stories.
I saw that when I was like 4. I mean, this is one of the first movies I actually went to in a theater. I was sneaking when I saw Clockwork Orange. I was in that room. Get him out of the room. I remember them yelling that. Anyway.
What the fuck, Dave?
50 First Dates. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Again, that was with Jason Sears' little PP. And then Wedding Crashers, which I saw this movie with the girl I'm actually seeing right now. about 15, 16 years ago whenever this came out. And we loved it. And as it turns out, later on in life, we found out we loved each other.
We
And
didn't know at the time, though.
we kind of knew we liked each other, but no one had the balls to say anything. 15 years later, after we both had heartache and divorce and tragedy, we found our true love.
Dave's living the real romantic comedy here. 5 kids running around trying not to call them offensive names and shit.
Every day, my friend, every day. It's actually not too bad. I was actually saying that it's like I actually find a lot of peace in this relationship. I'm very relaxed. Every once in a while, this is as bad as it gets. Like you'll be in the bathroom taking a piss, kind of leaned over, and you'll just hear all this running around and you'll just sit there and you go, fuck. That's about as bad as it gets. You just go, fuck.
Beats those days in the parking ride, though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, shout out to Peace. Thank you for showing me the love when I needed it, even if it wasn't a healthy kind of love. And you might have given me something in my balls. I'm not really sure. The doctor says it probably wasn't because of that, but I did ask, and I'm still not convinced. Peace, I know it might have been you. Anyway, what do we got here left? We got
When Harry Met Sally has definitely been on a few lists.
I think that definitely has to make the cut.
I heard Forgetting Sarah Marshall a few times.
Jason's little peepee.
And then shit, what else?
Oh, I got a story. See what's good. Remember Forgetting Sarah Marshall? There's that scene where she starts to blow him at the end, and then he's like, just stops, and he's like, because he can't get erect because like he just doesn't want to be with that woman. So true story. I broke up with this girl, and I ended up like dating this other girl, and then like I kind of took a break, and then this other girl tried to hook up with me again. I was like, I really don't want to. And then I ended up kind of just going along with it, but I didn't really want to, and I felt bad the whole time. And I just remember, like, I climaxed, and after I did, I was like, this sucks. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, that's how bad I didn't want to be with this woman. Like, I literally had
Look how you made Dave feel.
the orgasm, and I was like, this is horrible. I don't want to be here. That's when I knew. I'm like, I'm never getting back with this girl again. This was a bad idea. Anyway, so yeah.
What do you got for that number 3 spot?
Sarah Marshall.